Do want to go ahead and wrap. Listen, remember when I opened the show and I said this was the Coaches Gone Cuckoo episode of the Aaron Torres pod? 2 weeks ago was Coaches Gone Wild. Ryan Day's just chirping at 86-year-old Lou Holtz. This week was Coaches Gone Cuckoo. Thought Steve Sarkisian went a little cuckoo in the red zone. Jimbo Fisher went a little cuckoo not punting the football. But there was no more cuckoo moment. And I could argue there was nothing. I don't know that I've ever seen a coaching decision quite like this than what happened with Mario Cristobal and the Miami Hurricanes on Saturday night. For people who maybe don't follow this stuff minute to minute, everything was going right for Miami coming into this weekend, okay? So Miami is undefeated. They beat Texas A&M. They got some real momentum. They're coming out of their bye week. They're healthy. Everybody's playing well. They had a top 10 recruiting class last year. Everything is going right. And oh, by the way, they're undefeated. They play North Carolina next week in what's their first real big ACC game on the slate. So everything's going well. All they got to do is get by little old Georgia Tech, who lost to Bowling Green a few weeks ago. And they're in control of the game. Now, it was back and forth. It wasn't Miami's best effort. But I bring it up because they have the ball with under a minute to go. Clock keeps ticking. It gets to about 30 seconds, and Georgia Tech is officially out of timeouts. All Miami has to do is take a knee, and the game is over. Just take a knee. Just take a knee. That's all you got to do. Nothing complicated. No weird math. Nothing. Instead, Miami runs the football. Miami fumbles the football. Georgia Tech recovers. And in 2 plays, they drive the length of the field for the game-winning score. Now, what I will say is a couple things. One, after the game, Mario Cristobal said all the right things. It's 100% on me. There's nobody else to blame. The math equated to one thing before the drive, and then something happened, and we didn't do a good enough job communicating that, oh, by the way, all we have to do is take a knee. Same thing, a couple things stand out. One, there was no one on that headset. There was no one on the headset that when they decided to call a play, somebody didn't jump up and scream, oh, we don't have to call it. We don't have to run a play. All we got to do is take a knee. Like, listen, we can blame Mario Cristobal, but there are however many, a dozen guys on the headset. There are players on the field. Tyler Van Dyke is a third-year senior. How did no one in the entire organization realize that you don't have to run a play there? It absolutely makes no sense. I don't get it. And so you have that. And because of it, listen, I was talking to my buddy Garrett Carr, writes for Aaron Torres Online, whatever. He said this, and I think it's right. You can say that it is literally one of the most inexcusable losses ever for that reason. Multiple players, multiple coaches, there's just so many checks and balances that should never allow that to happen. You want to know what the crazy part is, though? This isn't the first time it's happened to Mario Cristobal. There was a game a few years ago when he was head coach at Oregon, the exact same situation. They had the lead. All they had to do was run out the clock. They fumble the football. Stanford gets the ball back. So just a tough loss for Miami. Listen, Miami, everything is still ahead of them. I think they've largely overachieved, but that is just one that is such a sucker punch. And that's one where, when Mario Cristobal left Oregon, I think Oregon fans were a little bit mad because he was kind of the third straight coach that had left for a quote-unquote better job. Chip Kelly, the NFL, Willie Taggart, Florida State, Mario Cristobal, Miami. But at the same time, I think they were also like, we think we're going to be okay without him. They clearly are. So Mario Cristobal, what a moment in time. By the way, probably did not help. The number 1 recruit in America, Jeremiah Smith, a 5-star wide receiver from the Miami area, currently committed to Ohio State. You know where he was on Saturday night? At Hard Rock Stadium, where this debacle happened. I cannot believe that Miami lost this game.